All right, what's going on, everyone? Happy Sunday to you. A Sunday edition of BYPQ here. So appreciate everyone keeping us locked in for a little instant reaction on what transpired yesterday in college football, and um, obviously, most notably in the Oregon and Colorado game. And listen, if you've listened to myself over the last several weeks, over the last several months, I love the fact that Colorado went out and they brought in Deion Sanders, Coach Prime. I absolutely love um, the swag, just the way he gets these kids to really want to play for him. And yesterday, listen, I don't know why this outcome surprises anyone from yesterday. I don't, to be honest with you. I really don't. You can tweet at me at RichQ on Q. Again, keep it locked into the channel, BYP Rich Q on Q. They got crushed yesterday. Colorado absolutely got their asses handed to them by Oregon, a team that has dogs in the trenches and big boys. And we're going to get into the game for a moment. But what I find really comical is if you really think about this, I feel as though yesterday's 42-6 loss for Colorado to even some talking heads in media, to fans, maybe to other head coaches around the country, maybe to boosters, maybe alumni of other universities. It was like a little more than just a game to them. Like you take it and transfer it off the field for a moment. It's almost as though people were waiting for the other shoe to drop. They were waiting for Colorado to, flap their mouth, run their mouth, talk to talk. And yesterday they weren't able to back it up. And I think people were waiting for them to get humbled because I'm seeing a lot of stuff on social, on my timeline, even from some of the talking heads, you know, hey man, they got humbled and Oregon wasn't playing around, and the Ducks were ready to go and quack quack quack, put up 42 points and 518 total yards. I mean, it was just a bloodbath yesterday. But it is amazing how when you get instant reaction on games like this, and you have a team led by Deion Sanders that is confident, has the arrogance, has confidence, cocky, the swag, and where was the energy, right? I mean, think about it. So, first game of the season, they upset TCU. Second game of the season, they take care of Nebraska. Third game of the season, Colorado State poking the bear a little bit. Colorado was left for dead against Colorado State, and yet they had this remarkable win, 3-0, set the stage against Oregon when we knew it was going to be a different animal against them, right? Because you're losing arguably one of your best two-way players, maybe the best two-way player, if not the best two-way player in college, in Hunter. I don't think it would have made a difference yesterday. I don't. I really don't think the outcome would have been a 42-35 or 35-17, 42-17 type of game yesterday. Maybe. But the outcome doesn't surprise me. What is shocking is just now everyone just piling on Colorado. They're piling on Deion Sanders. The coach, Dan Lannon, he had all these wonderful clickbait opportunities here, talking about they fight for clicks, we fight for wins. And, at halftime, you knew when they were up 35-0, folks. Again, why is this surprising? I text my buddies. I was like, he is going to run it up. Everyone knew it. It reminded me of that scene and Remember the Titans when the one assistant coach looked over to Denzel Washington and he said, Herman, leave no doubt, running up. I mean, you knew yesterday they wanted to make a point. These coaches now are taking it so personal. They're flipping the script on Colorado. They're flipping the script on Deion Sanders. They're right now, Colorado's got the bullseye on its back, right? And yet people forget this is a team that hasn't really won much over the last several years. One win last year. They start off 3-0. The buzz to juice electricity. And yesterday they ran into a buzzsaw. I mean, the numbers don't lie. That's why I'm saying, why is it shocking to people? The outcome, 518 yards to 194, 30 first downs to 13, 35 points at the half. When the coach basically said, kind of eyeballed the monitor and the camera looking around, for those that are doubting us, we're not done yet, right? Maybe talk about us a little more. Their drives throughout the game were just brilliant. 10 plays, 72 yards, 11 plays, 52 yards, 13 plays, 89 yards, 5 plays, 82 yards, 6 plays, 70 yards. Sanders was shut down. I mentioned this when I had a Nick Costco on from All Three Sports. I thought, Bo Nix, is this going to be this, let me steal the spotlight Heisman type of um, competition, right? And Sanders struggled. The kid was sacked 6 times. He was running for his life. He had nowhere to throw. They got their asses handed to him. But again, why now all of a sudden does everyone want to come out of the woodwork? And all I'm hearing is, see, now they are going to shut up, or you know what? Maybe now they won't talk as much. It is a perpetual cycle. This is exactly what this is. It's a perpetual cycle because nowadays you've got teams, you've got coaches, they're going to talk. This is where we're at. Everything's on social media. It's on IG, it's on Twitter, it's on Twitch, it's on X, formerly Twitter, right? It's on Facebook. It's all over the place. So now all of a sudden, you've got a head coach in Oregon that turns around talking about, well, we're not doing stuff for clicks and views, and yet you knew that comment when they were up too big. When they were up, you knew they were going to throw that into the telecast. You knew they were going to throw that into the broadcast. But again, the point was made. The point was made. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not defending Colorado. I'm not. And I do understand to some extent why Oregon and the head coach said what he said, and they wanted to make their point because they wanted people to know, don't forget about us. It was almost like one of those things back in the day, the code of the street, man. You want to mess around? Go ahead. You mess around, you keep running your mouth. You're going to find out, and that's kind of what we saw transpire Saturday. And listen, all I'm saying is it's one game. Why now are the pitchforks coming out for Deion Sanders in Colorado? It's one loss. Can we talk about what he's done up until then? People don't like the fact that kids are jumping in the transfer portal. People don't like that they want to play for Coach Prime. People don't like that they want to play for Colorado. Look, the bottom line is when you break down that game, it was all about in the trenches, the offensive line. I mean, you don't need to be a football genius, a fan of the sport to cover the sport, to watch the sport, to understand that every single solitary play, you saw the dominance in the trenches, and that was by Oregon. It wasn't by Colorado. They need to go and recruit some big dogs and muscle them. And I love what Sanders said afterwards. You know what? Get me right now. This is the worst it's going to get, to paraphrase, because he knows. But I just find it interesting how I feel as though people and some of the media and fans and social media in general, which again you can't really get sucked too much into, they were just waiting for Colorado to get their asses handed to them. They were waiting for Colorado to get humbled so they can kind of sit back and be like, see, told you so. Told you so. We knew this was going to happen. They kind of sit back and go like this and say, here you go. Little taste of your own medicine. If that's what makes you sleep well at night, hey, you would think maybe do a little better, but that's not the world we live in, and I understand that. And again, Oregon is a very good team. Now they got Stanford coming up. They got then 3 ranked opponents in Washington State, Utah. They got the big test November 11th against USC, who just put up 42, beat Arizona State 42-28. Colorado, they're going to have to regroup. They've got UFC sneaking behind the back door next weekend, and that might be an ugly game as well. But I can't sit here and look at yesterday's game and sit there and say Colorado's a fraud, or Deion Sanders is not a good coach, or Shedeur Sanders is not going to be a quarterback who plays on Sunday. That's lazy. It's clownish. It's a jackass take. It just comes from those that were waiting to basically kick this team and this man in their nuts when they were down. And like I said, it is a perpetual cycle, is it not? Think about it. It's almost like chasing the tail here, because they've talked and then they backed it up and then they kind of cooled off a little bit, kept talking a little bit, not as much. And now you've got teams, when you open your mouth and you talk and you don't back it up, they want to punch you in the mouth. And that's exactly what Oregon did. They took them behind the woodshed, and they cracked them in the jaw. And like I said, this goes back old school, right? Run your mouth and find out. But I just find it's just remarkable how, where was that energy when they beat TCU? Where's that energy when they beat Nebraska? Where's that energy when they were left for dead against Colorado State? I think it goes a little more deeper to some, and that's unfortunate. Um, but again, they don't like the way Coach Prime carries himself. They don't like the way these players carry themselves. Don't you have a little confidence? Don't you have to have a little swag? Don't you have to believe in yourself? And listen, he went out and he defended that kid last week with the cheap shots. So let's not say, I'm hearing all the stuff. Deion Sanders is a fraud. It's all about him. Man, you know what? Opinions vary. Opinions vary. Ultimately, when you look at this game, they need to figure out a way to recruit big boys, big dogs in that in the trenches offensive line, and they're going to be okay. They're going to be okay. But it's just yesterday, man. If you're going to tell me that you didn't think for one moment Oregon was going to turn around and run up the friggin' score when they had the opportunity. I got swampland in Florida. I got swampland in Tallahassee and Jacksonville. I want to sell you. I'm telling you right now, it was one of those days where you just got to eat it. It's a humbling loss, and I thought going into this game, forget about the line. I was looking at a 45-17, 45-24 type of game. I wanted to see if they came out and they played hard in the second half, and I just think one team was here and the other team was here, and Colorado was that latter, right? They're just not on the same level of Oregon. But if you're gonna use that energy and kick the man when he's down, then honestly, you got to start to celebrate what they were doing the previous 3 weeks. Because, like I said, it's just one game. All right, give me your thoughts, comment below. As always, we appreciate you guys keeping it locked in. We did put out our week 3 NFL plays. Lloyd Vance from Lloyd Vance's Insider Football on Broad Street South. And of course, 102.9 The Game joined me. Also got some good picks from our guy, Javon Alford. Professor Shine, who joins us for our weekly handicapping segment. That's on the YouTube channel. That's on our page right now, Rich Q on Q. As I mentioned, you guys have been fantastic. Got about 45 minutes NFL kickoff. So if you guys want to put some of your plays in, look at some of the picks and some of the trends and some of the stats and some of our predictions that we gave you on the page. And as always, we appreciate you guys tuning us in. You've been fantastic. The engagement, the subscriptions, the subs, just the comments on the channels. Totally appreciate everyone. Totally appreciate the support. Our Sunday little recap of BYP from our good friends over at Play It Again Sports, 1450 Clements Bridge Road. Check them out right now. Online, in-store shopping, open 7 days a week. And they also, it's still nice up and down the East Coast, especially in our backyard, Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and whatnot. They got those Cleveland drivers and wedges in, so they'll take some good cash for trade. Also, new and used sports equipment and more. So check them out. So good luck with your 1 o'clock slate of games, I should say. You can follow me on IG and X at RichQNQ, Facebook as well, and also on TikTok at Chicas Champagne. If you know the movie Scarface, you'll know the reference to the handle on that one. Hopefully later on today, Nick Cosco from On 3 Sports will join us. We'll recap a wild weekend in college football. It seems like every head coach wants to take shots at everyone, right? Even Day over there taking a poor little shot at Lou Holtz. And I'm not even a Notre Dame fan. But in any event, good luck with your one-day slate of NFL actions. Appreciate you guys keeping us locked in. Don't forget Monday to Friday, BYP right here on the YouTube channel, Rich Q on Q. Have a good sports Sunday. We'll talk to you soon.